What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United in action in the Europa League. Quarter-final second leg up against Lyon at Old Trafford. Manager is Paulo Fonseca and we are of course coming away with a 2-2 draw away at Lyon last week. So now we are settling our affairs with Lyon at Old Trafford. So let's get into some insights for the match. So this will be the third time that Manchester United have faced Lyon in European competition at Old Trafford, with the Red Devils winning both prior meetings 2-1 in November 2004 and 1-0 in March 2008. Lyon have just lost one of their last 9 European games against sides from England, winning 4 and drawing 4, a 3-0 defeat to West Ham during the 2021-22 UEFA Europa League. Manchester United have lost each of their last 2 home European games against sides from France, PSG in February 2019 and December 2020, after remaining unbeaten across their 14 matches between 1965 and 2017, with winning 10 and drawing 4. Lyon are unbeaten across their last 12 away UEFA Europa League games, winning 9 and drawing 3 since a 2-1 defeat to Atalanta in December 2017. So Manchester United remain unbeaten across their 11 Europa League games this season, winning 6 and drawing 5. The last time the Red Devils began a European campaign unbeaten across their 11 matches, they eventually went on to lose 3-1 in the 2010-11 UEFA Champions League final against Barcelona. So at the moment we do have a decent European record. We are unbeaten in the Europa League this season. So yeah, in terms of some recent form for Lyon are coming away with a win against Auxerre in League One 3-1. But of course before that match they did draw to Manchester United in the first leg. So in terms of Lyon, they do have Neymar, who is out, but Lyon have received a massive boost by being able to name Malik Fofana in their travelling squad for Manchester. Fofana, a highly rated Belgium international, has hit 10 goals for them this term, including 6 in Europe, but suffered a knee injury against Le Havre a month ago. So in terms of Lyon's starting 11, this is who I predict is going to line up. Basically, it is the same starting lineup that started against Manchester United a week ago. Perry in net, of course, Maitland-Niles, Mata Nakate and Tagliafico making up the back 4, Akuku and Tolisso making up the midfield double pivot, and then Cherki, Veretout and Almada making up the front 3 in behind Mekatazde. So in terms of how much change I'm expecting Lyon, I'm not really expecting them to be changing that much with regards to how they're going to play against Manchester United. I am going to be expecting them to line up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. They're going to look to control possession, create chances in the same manner they did in the first leg. In the first leg, it sometimes looked like a 4-3-1-2, so their tactical setup is fluid and it revolves around control, build-up play, quick transitions and exploiting spaces in between the lines. So Lyon's offensive strategy was characterized by patient build-up and exploiting spaces, particularly on the flanks. They effectively utilised their midfield to control the tempo and create opportunities. Thiago Almada's opening goal against Manchester United last week from a free kick highlighted their ability to capitalise on set-piece situations. The team's persistent pressure and structured attacks culminated in Rayan Cherki's stoppage time equaliser, demonstrating their resilience and tactical discipline in maintaining possession and creating scoring chances throughout the match. So in terms of the final third, they are going to be using overlaps as well from their fullbacks Maitland-Niles and Tagliafico. Obviously that involves wide plays, usually the fullbacks making forward runs around their winger, creating 2v1 opportunities on the wing, and that we could see that develop as well, because obviously Manchester United with the 5 at the back, you know, they could create 2v1 situations on the wing as well. Underlaps as well, when the winger receives the ball out wide, he will attract the opposition fullback, and this opens space between the fullback and the centre back, which allows the Lyon's number 8 to make the underlapping run into the space. So this ball can be played to the underlapping player, who can cross the ball into the box or attack his defender in a 1v1 situation. They also like to flood the box as well. Many players in the box, the midfielders and wingers always look to make runs into the box when the ball is in the final third as well. So in terms of defensively, Lyon against Manchester United, Lyon maintained a compact structure, focused on closing down spaces and limiting Manchester United's attacking options. They applied coordinated pressing to disrupt Manchester United's build-up play, particularly targeting the midfield to prevent effective transitions. By maintaining organisation and discipline, Lyon managed to contain United's attacks and quickly regain possession, allowing them to dictate the flow of the game and minimize defensive vulnerabilities. So in terms of Lyon's star man, I am going to have to say it's Rayan Cherki. Rayan Cherki has made 25 appearances in League One for Olympique Lyonnais during the 24-25 season, and he scored 8 goals and provided 9 assists. In European competitions, Cherki has contributed 2 goals and 8 assists, bringing his total for the season across all competitions to 10 goals and 17 assists in all competitions. So he is the most creative player in this Lyon side, in my opinion, and is the one we have to look out for. He's very dangerous in and around the box, and he likes to operate in between the half spaces as well. So I wouldn't mind him to see at Old Trafford next season. I think he's a decent player. But yeah, in terms of Manchester United, we are coming away with a 4-1 loss to Newcastle, and then of course before that we did draw to Lyon. But in terms of Manchester United, it wasn't a good performance against Newcastle whatsoever. We got absolutely run over basically by Newcastle. We were second to every ball, and Newcastle definitely deserved to come away with the win. Definitely deserved to come away with all 3 points. And Manchester United offensively going forward, we were poor, and then defensively as well. Out of possession we were poor as well. Like 2 goals that Newcastle scored were due to Manchester United errors. Mazraoui with the slip that led to Newcastle's third, I think, and then Bayinde trying to play out from the back, he squares it to Joe Linton. He plays it to a Newcastle player, I think it's Joe Linton, and then obviously Newcastle score their 4th. So 2 goals for Newcastle actually came from individual errors, but the goals that we conceded before, they were down to general team errors as well. So defensively, we weren't good enough whatsoever against Newcastle. Hopefully that does improve, because if we play like that without the ball against Lyon at Old Trafford, then I think Lyon are going to get the better of us. But yeah, in terms of Manchester United's team news, Martinez, Diallo, Evans, De Ligt, Heaven and Collier are out. I think Collier might be back, I'm not sure, but the others I mentioned are definitely out. So in terms of Manchester United's 11, this is who I've gone with. So I'm bringing Onana back in net, because I don't think Bayinde necessarily didn't cover himself in glory in that game against Newcastle. So Onana is back in net for me, and I think that even though Onana is a little bit shaky between the sticks, I think he is better than Bayinde. So Onana comes back in for me, and then the back 3 is the same that we started against Lyon. Mazraoui, Maguire and Yoro making up the back 3. Dalot, Casemiro, Ugarte and Dogu making up the 4 in midfield. Then Garnacho, Fernandes and Højlund up front. So a lot has been, I've criticised personally the front 3 of Højlund, Garnacho and Fernandes, but we really don't have anyone else to be starting except for Mason Mount could start. Maybe you could put in Mount instead of Garnacho, but then I think we lose a little bit of pace up front. I think Garnacho is the only player that has some pace in this Manchester United side that can actually stretch the Lyon defence when they do push their fullbacks up. I think Garnacho can get into some space down the wing, but that's why I've started Garnacho. Otherwise, I probably would have started Mount if it was another game that maybe in the Premier League or whatever. But because I don't necessarily think that this front 3 is kind of good enough. Højlund, Fernandes and Garnacho, and also I have been banging on about how Bruno's best position in this side is in the midfield of a pivot, and I can see that I've put in basically 7 defenders there. So this lineup might be a little bit too defensive. So we'll see what happens in terms of Ruben Amorim's lineup, but maybe I could have put in Fernandes into the double pivot alongside Ugarte, and then started Mount and Garnacho up front alongside with Højlund up front. I think that would have been a little bit better maybe. But in terms of Manchester United star man, I'm gonna have to say it's Bruno Fernandes. Doesn't matter if he plays in a double pivot. Doesn't matter if he plays in the inside 10 positions. He is Manchester United's star man. He creates the most chances. Manchester United rely on him the most for chance creation and assists and goals as well. So yeah, how do you beat this Lyon side? I think exploiting the high back line. I think they're going to come and they're going to play with a high back line. I think they're going to press us at Old Trafford as well. I think that's going to leave space in behind. Stop Cherki as well. Double up on him. Use pace, power, strength, unpredictability on the counter-attack. I think using the three centre-backs to build up is going to be key as well, because as they're trying to press, if we can use the three centre-backs to build up and kind of bypass Lyon's press, I think that could, that could leave some space for us in the middle of the park as well. Target the set pieces as well. Win the second balls in the box. I think they're not a real aerial threat, the Lyon side, so I think they are vulnerable in the air. So in terms of set pieces, if Maguire can get on the end of some corners, I think that could be that could turn out good for us. So in terms of the wing backs as well, I think the wing backs have to be better going forward. Dogu and Dalot have to be good outlets, and their fullbacks, Maitland-Niles and Tagliafico, are going to leave gaps in behind, so exploit that space as well. So another thing as well, another key thing that will help us a lot is if we score early. It will calm the nerves down at Old Trafford. I think a lot of Manchester United fans are going to be nervous coming into this match, and I'm nervous as well, although I'm not going to Old Trafford, but I'm sure Old Trafford is going to be quite nervous as well, because if Lyon get an early goal, it's going to be like an uphill task, because everyone's mood is going to be down. But if we score early, however, then that will calm the nerves a little bit, and we're at home, and so the onus is on us to kind of open up Lyon. So so hopefully we do come away with the win and get through into the next round of the Europa League. And yeah, let's just take a quick look at the predicted lineup that FootMob has gone for. FootMob has gone for the same lineup that I've gone for. So Onana, Yoro, Mazraoui, Maguire, Dogu, Casemiro, Ugarte, Dalot, and then Fernandes, Garnacho and Højlund up front. Obviously, we don't have enough kind of, with Rashford out on loan, Anthony, who's not even a footballer, who's out on loan as well. Now Zirkzee's out injured as well. That's three players basically that we don't have coming off the bench. And I've been seeing Rashford for Villa, and he's been playing well. I'm not gonna lie, but we should obviously. I'm not doing some revisionism on Rashford. I think he probably does need to be moved on. I think that would be the best for his career. But he's doing well for Villa or whatever. In terms of the knockout stages for the Europa League, I think the other games also ended up as ties. So Tottenham drew with Frankfurt, and then Rangers and Athletic Club drew as well. And the shock result of the Europa League in this side of the tie was Bodo Glimt actually beating Lazio 2-0. Lazio actually, I think, finished first or second in the league stage. If I remember. So that was a shock result for Lazio. I think if we get past Lyon, I'm quite comfortable that over a two-legged tie we can get past Athletic Club or Rangers. So if we can get past Lyon, then I do think that we have a really, really good route to the final. Then if we win the final, we've got Champions League football, which is what we want, of course. Not only that, but we do have a trophy under our belt as well in what has been an absolutely horrid season. So yeah, hopefully we do come away with the win, because if we don't, then our season is going to be over. This is it. This is the big one, the game of the season so far. Hopefully we do come away with the win. I am a little bit nervous for the game, I'm not going to lie, but I am going for a 2-0 Manchester United win. I'm going for Bruno and Højlund to get on the score sheet. Hopefully we come away with the win, because if we don't, I'm going to be so deflated. I'm going to be so annoyed, and it's just, it's going to be long in it up until the start of August, because we're not playing for anything in the league, and it's going to be long if we lose to Lyon tomorrow. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.